Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a beautiful sunny Tuesday, but things in Port Charles are darker, more complex, and more thrilling than ever. We have so much to unpack about the absolute masterclass in soap opera storytelling we are witnessing right now. Grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive deep into the genius of these upcoming July episodes. I feel so incredibly electrified by that recent moment when Jocelyn Jack sat across from WSB Director Z and ruthlessly pinned all of Ross Cullum's monstrous crimes on the newly deceased Cassius. When she looked Z dead in the eye and traded a dead man's legacy for Jason and Valentin Cassidy's freedom, I literally gasped out loud. The lighting in that scene, casting half of Jocelyn's face in shadow, was a brilliant directorial choice because it made me feel like we were finally seeing her embrace her true, calculating potential. I think this is the absolute pinnacle of her character development. She is no longer just Carly's daughter. She is a bona fide WSB operative making impossible, morally gray calls. I know a lot of people in the fandom are saying this storyline is making Jocelyn too unlikable or that she is betraying her morals, but I actually think this ruthless edge is exactly what's needed. The way I interpret it, Jocelyn has been a victim of the WSB, of Cullum, and of Sidwell for months. She was locked in a sub-basement. I believe her decision to sacrifice Cassius's name is her taking her power back. When she apologized to Lucas Jones and asked him to bury the truth about Marco Rios' murder, you could see the heavy toll it took on her in the slight tremor of her voice. I feel like the writers are giving us a complex, flawed heroine who realizes that in the spy world, you have to play dirty to save the people you love. And speaking of Cassius, I genuinely think we're missing the point if we don't recognize the sheer narrative goldmine this creates for Liesl Obrecht. The way I see it, Liesl is about to unleash a maternal wrath unlike anything Port Charles has ever seen. When she inevitably finds out that Jocelyn lied and smeared Cassius's name as Jen Sidwell's main ally, again, I fully expect Kathleen Gaddy to deliver an Emmy-winning performance. I feel so deeply for Liesl. She just learned her real son Nathan is truly dead, and now her hidden twin Cassius is dead and disgraced. I think the upcoming confrontation between Liesl and Jocelyn is going to be a masterclass in tension, and I cannot wait to see how Jocelyn defends her impossible choice to a grieving mother. But the storyline that currently has my whole heart, the one that makes me weep tears of absolute joy, is Britt Westbourne's revelation. I feel so incredibly relieved by the upcoming twist that Britt's Huntington's disease diagnosis was a complete and utter lie. When the show revealed that the syringe in her room was just saline, and that Cullum and Sidwell had been duping her with fake meds, my jaw hit the floor. I think the writer's choice to have her illness be a cruel manipulation rather than a terminal reality is nothing short of brilliant. It reframes her entire year of running. She wasn't running out of time. She was being psychologically tortured. I know some fans might feel cheated by a fake-out illness plot, but I actually think it is the most profound gift the writers could have given this character. In my opinion, Britt has spent the last year living with a ghost, hovering over her shoulder, believing her body was a ticking time bomb. When she finally realizes she is going to live a long, full life, the emotional whiplash is going to be spectacular. I feel like this is the best they've written Britt because it strips away her fatalism and forces her to ask, what do I do with a future I didn't plan for? I believe her upcoming scenes in Lockup, processing this monumental shift, will be the emotional anchor of the summer. And what perfect, poetic timing that Jason is officially coming home right as Britt realizes she has a future. I am counting down the seconds to the July 13th episode. I feel like the 16,000th episode celebration is the perfect stage for Jason's grand return, especially since Jocelyn's secret deal secured his full release from WSB custody. I think the moment Jason and Britt lock eyes, knowing they both survived this nightmare, is going to be electric. The way I interpret their dynamic, they have always been two broken people who found unexpected solace in each other. Now that the ticking clock of Huntington's is gone, I believe they finally have a real, unencumbered shot at love. Furthermore, I am completely obsessed with the rumors that Jason might have a new outlook as he settles back into Port Charles, one that could potentially lead to him quitting the mob. I know a lot of people are saying Jason without the mob isn't Jason, but I actually think this evolution is exactly what's needed because I feel like he has sacrificed enough for Sonny. I believe that taking the fall for Rocco Falconeri, sitting in WSB custody, and nearly losing his life has fundamentally shifted his priorities. I think the writers are bravely pushing Jason into a new era, one where he might prioritize Danny, Britt, and his own peace over Sonny's organization. I am also highly anticipating Dean Geyer's debut as Tristan Roberts during this milestone week. I feel like introducing a new character tied to the WSB lore, right when Jason is being released and Jocelyn is rising in the ranks, is a stroke of genius. I think Tristan is going to shake up the canvas in the best way possible. The way I see it, the spy games in Port Charles have never been more intricate, and adding fresh blood to the mix will only elevate the tension. I believe Tristan will be the wild card that forces everyone, from Z to Anna Devane, to rethink their strategies. Switching gears to the sheer domestic warfare happening across town, I am living for Lulu's absolute outrage. When Lulu discovers that Carly hid Valentine Cassadine at her house for months and repeatedly made excuses so Charlotte could visit him, I felt the betrayal radiating off the screen. I think Lulu's anger is so profoundly justified. The way I interpret it, Lulu has been agonizing over Rocco's disappearance, feeling entirely alone while Carly was harboring a fugitive and playing house. I feel like the upcoming confrontation between Lulu and Carly is going to be a battle of titans, and I am here for every single soapy second of it. When Lulu dragged Charlotte off after declaring they were not finished, I felt a genuine chill. I think this is the most fiercely protective and terrifying we have ever seen Lulu. I know some people might think she is being too harsh on a teenager, but I actually think her reaction is perfectly grounded in a mother's terror. She just found out Charlotte was complicit in a massive deception while Rocco was out there on the run with Britt. I believe the writers are doing an incredible job of showcasing how trauma and fear can harden a person. Lulu is not playing nice anymore, and I think it is a phenomenal color on her. And then we have Sonny Corinthos, who is about to make everything infinitely worse, and I absolutely love it. I feel like Sonny deciding to stand against Carly and Valentine's romance by getting Brick to help sabotage them is pitch-perfect characterization. I know some viewers are exhausted by Sonny interfering in Carly's love life, but I actually think his petty, possessive nature is exactly what makes their dynamic so compelling. The way I see it, Sonny cannot stand the idea of Carly finding happiness with the Cassadine, especially one who operates outside of Sonny's control. I believe his mission to ruin their happily ever after is going to backfire spectacularly, but the journey will be highly entertaining. I also need to talk about the sheer psychological horror of Anna Devane's current storyline. When Valentine finally gets the chance to reunite with Anna and bring her up to speed on Cullum's fake-out, I feel like my heart is going to break. Because despite Valentine's presence, Anna is going to continue hallucinating Peter August. I think the choice to have Peter's ghost gaslight Anna is a brilliant way to explore her lingering trauma. I love the way the shadows seem to close in on Anna in her recent scenes. It made me feel her claustrophobia and descending madness. I believe this psychological thriller element is giving Finola Hughes the best material she has had in years. I am also completely invested in the complex, dangerous bond between Jack Brennan and Nina Reeves. I feel so moved by Brennan's determination to repay Nina for saving his life by throwing away that paralytic syringe. When he manages to deliver the leverage against Drew Kane for Nina and Willow, but at an extreme personal cost, I know I am going to be a wreck. I think Brennan is proving that he is more than just a WSB operative. He is a man of his word. The way I interpret their dynamic, they are two outcasts who have found a twisted, beautiful loyalty to one another. I believe Brennan's sacrifice will change Nina forever. I feel so stressed, in the best way, about the timing of Curtis Ashford's legal drama. The fact that he has to choose whether to accept a plea deal right around the time Portia Robinson goes into labor is classic soap opera pacing. I think Curtis is completely trapped by his own stubborn pride regarding the Isaiah Gannon assault. The way I see it, Portia's absolute fury at him is entirely warranted. I believe the juxtaposition of a life entering the world while Curtis's freedom hangs in the balance will create the most intense, gripping hospital scenes of the summer. Finally, the way I interpret Ethan Lovett's current panic is that the past always collects its debts in Port Charles. I feel so much adrenaline, knowing he is about to be hunted down by someone from his past. I think Ava Jerome, digging into the mystery of Phoebe's true father, is the perfect catalyst for this explosion. Ava simply cannot leave a secret alone, and I love her for it. I believe her snooping will blow Ethan's closed adoption plan out of the water, and I am entirely here for the chaos it will bring to Brooklyn and Chase. In my opinion, this entire July canvas is a testament to why we watch daytime television. Every single character is operating at peak emotional capacity, driven by love, fear, and survival. I feel so incredibly lucky to be witnessing this era of the show. The writers are weaving these disparate threads, the WSB conspiracies, the medical mysteries, the mob wars, and the fierce maternal instincts into a tapestry of pure brilliance. I genuinely think we are missing the point if we don't sit back and applaud the sheer audacity of these storylines. I believe the next 3 weeks will go down in history as some of the best episodes we have ever seen, and I cannot wait to experience every single gasp-inducing moment with all of you.